After the September 11th attacks, today we mark, of course, the 13th anniversary of that very somber day here on the morning show. The Voice of Texas, AM 700 KSEV. I'm Chris Salcedo. That guy over there is Russell Sherrill, and we have, some other things to talk about. We will continue to evaluate Mr. Obama's strategy, such as it is, on the attack on ISIS. But again, other things to discuss this morning. I want to invite to the program Royalyn Reid, the co-founder and CEO of Consumer and Market Insights. Royalyn Reid, known for her entrepreneurial spirit, long history of business and philanthropic accomplishments, popular speaker on the diversity and cultural sensitivity circuit as well. And Royalyn has developed diversity training programs and workforce initiatives, I should say, for clients throughout the U.S. to improve diversity, cultural sensitivity, employee productivity, and the like. Royalyn, welcome to the Voice of Texas.
Hey, Chris, glad to be with you this morning.
First thing, you and I are going to focus a little bit on the National Football League this morning because of all of its issues that have been cropping up here in recent months. Ray Rice, of course, this story continues to mushroom out of control. Now we're learning that the possibility that a video did exist in the NFL's hands and they chose to do nothing about it. Quickly, what do you think of the whole Ray Rice situation?
Well, that's just an interesting thing all itself. First of all, we know it's an unfortunate situation that occurred. However, with the attention that has come to it, it's past. We can't go back and redo it. But what can we do with teachable moments to make sure it doesn't happen again, educate, as well as hopefully work as an enforcement that some people will think about it before they act.
Yeah. All right. And the other big issue that has been plaguing the National Football League is the Washington Redskins and the pressure that Dan Snyder is getting, the owner of the Redskins, to change the name of this franchise. Where do you sit on this?
Well, Chris, I believe that, Dan Snyder, and he needs to take a look at that, a hard look at the name. Now, I know a lot of people say, what's the big deal? It's just the name, or we're getting hypersensitive. But if you look in any dictionary, Webster or whatever, it clearly says that the word is offensive.
Well, the recent polling shows that an overwhelming majority of the American public do not favor a name change. That only a scant few in America think that a name change is warranted. I mean, if only a slight few find it offensive, could the minority be right and the majority be wrong?
Well, Chris, I think it's a bigger issue. Because it's not just about the name change, it's about how do we respect and view other groups and sensitivity. Because, before when we didn't know it was offensive, that's one thing. But now a word is offensive and it doesn't apply to me. It's okay to still say it, because it's just a small group. And we've seen that. We can look at the N-word. For years, it wasn't a big deal. But now look at where it is now. And it has made a difference, with people. So over time, we have seen that. I think another example is if you look in the league, we have the Kansas City Chiefs, the Atlanta Braves, and, Cleveland Indians, and then we have the Redskins. If you know what all of those names mean, what would you want your son or your daughter called or, have them referred to? So, when we bring it home, it's a different story.
Yeah, Royalyn Reid is my guest right now, co-founder and CEO of Consumer and Market Insights. And Royalyn, you brought up the comparison between the Redskins and the N-word. A lot of folks who look at the Redskins and their logo, which is a very dignified representation of a Native American, they say that comparing those two, one is meant definitely as derogatory, the other one is not. It's meant more as an honorific. Don't words have meaning?
What you just said is it was meant that way, and I think that's the important thing to look at. David Snyder or any of us, no one ever even knew it was offensive, and it was meant, like I said, a great logo, but now we know it. I mean, do you, say for an example, paint a nice picture of someone and then slur them, even if you call them fat, sloppy, or something else?
Well, there's another example of this town in Vermont where a restaurant put up a sign because they took part in the beautification process of their town, and they were able to advertise their business, and it's a bistro, so they cook a lot with bacon. And so they advertised the yummy, quote-unquote, yummy bacon that they have in their bistro, and a vegan who happened to be a Muslim found great offense to the word bacon because it's a pork product. So now, does the United States have to conform and not use the word bacon in public settings because some folks might find it offensive, even though nobody meant anything derogatory by it? Of course, there was no meaning behind it other than it's an edible food. But some group finds it offensive, so now we must now take a look at the word bacon.
Now, Chris, I think you have a good point. Now, we can't take it to the extreme. People are going to like certain words. People are going to like certain colors. That's a style or a lifestyle choice. But when you put a word with a group of people or even a gender or, something like that with a person and even, with an ethnicity, that's not something you can even change.
Yeah,
you are what you are.
And a lot of folks
so
look at
I think
that
we
bacon.
have to look at it a certain way.
Yeah, a lot of folks look at that bacon story and say, see, that's part. If you allow the Redskins to go, then you're gonna be on that slippery slope where you're not going to be able to say anything without checking with the word police. Royalyn Reid, co-founder, CEO of Consumer and Market Insights. Royalyn, thanks for carving out time for us today on The Voice of Texas.
Glad to be with you, Chris.
All right, thank you very much. More to come on the other side of the break, folks. We will get evaluation